Good morning and welcome to another Tresemer Group Tech Tip Tuesday. Today we have a very special guest, Lauren Meng of Let Me Organize It from the Bay Area. She is a holistic organizer. Very exciting. She's also a member of the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals. I actually got that right this time. So welcome and thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited as a frequent viewer to actually be on your show.
Are you a longtime viewer, first-time caller?
Absolutely. How'd you know? Is it showing on my face?
Love it. So I want to take advantage of while you're here. First question, what the heck is a holistic professional organizer and why do I need one?
I'm glad you asked because this question often gets confused with somehow holistic being woo-woo, but it's not. A lot more organizers are holistic than they actually realize. Holistic basically just means taking a heart-centered approach to organizing. It means meeting the client where they're at, both mentally and emotionally, instead of kind of coming in with a really regimented session and kind of making them feel overwhelmed.
Does this mean you're going to hold me while I do ugly crying when I'm getting rid of...
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Well, when I'm crying, yes. When I'm crying.
Exactly. I've actually done that with clients. We've had sessions where, oftentimes organizers, hairdressers were compared to therapists. Sometimes we're even cheaper than therapy, but better, more effective. So yes, it's basically letting those emotions out and knowing that there's no judgment and that we're kind of going at the pace that you need for that day.
Oh, that's really nice.
There's a lot of emotion involved with organizing, as you can imagine. It's getting... rid of things. There's a lot of emotional attachment. So it's kind of working through that and just coming from a more mindful. So think more of holistic as being from a more mindful approach of what's gentle and what's going to work for the client instead of saying, you better get rid of that. You've got 9 corkscrews. You don't need 9 corkscrews.
Not quite clean sweep
You're
method.
okay. Gosh, no. You're okay with maybe 4 or 5. Everybody has their favorite, right? So you got to keep some. I'm loving this mug, by the way.
My unicorn mug. One of my biggest organizational problems, and I'm happy to admit this to everyone, is my digital file organization system. Sometimes my desktop gets a little crazy. So without giving away all of your secrets, can you give us some tips on how to even approach digital organization?
Absolutely. So digital organization is very similar to physical organization. There can be emotions attached to it. Basically what I recommend is your desktop is kind of like your actual desktop. Oh. If it's super cluttered and that's distracting for you, we want to make sure that the desktop on your computer is clutter-free as well. So what I recommend doing is having a couple folders there. So for example, the Let Me Organize It laptop has an active folder, and within active are certain projects, blogs I'm working on, photos for those blogs. I've got a pending folder. I've got agendas coming up for any of the meetings that we have through NAPO, the volunteer work I do. And then I've also got the file for kind of my archive stuff. Oh. And then anything that I'm using right then and there, screen captures, photos, I'll leave on the desktop, but those are usually cleaned up within 24 to 48 hours. I think when you have a really cluttered desktop, it kind of takes away from your ability to focus and find the things, because oftentimes they're all spread out. If you're going to maybe do that and you need the stuff, because there are 2 types of people in the world. There are the filers and the pilers, people who can put things away and retrieve them, and people who pile things and it looks super messy, but they actually know where the stuff is. So if you're a piler and you're putting all the stuff on your desktop, maybe at least do it alphabetically so that you can find it. But I think the key here is to keep it simple. We often complicate our systems, and as an organizer, I'm trying to find the most efficient and simple way possible for you to stay organized.
That's fantastic. Now I'm thinking if I'm a piler or a filer.
I think you're definitely a filer.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're both filers.
I would like to admit I thought inbox zero was a myth until I worked with Lauren. And it is not a myth. It is possible.
It is. It maybe only lasts about 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It's possible.
But it does
you
happen.
You can get there, and that feeling of euphoria for 2 minutes until the next email comes in is really great.
Yes. That's like vacation for me.
I did it right before vacation and then came back to, 250 emails. But I was really proud. I didn't check it once. Impressive.
That's because I stole her phone.
I also hid the app.
Yes.
Organizing tip.
Great. A couple other questions for you. Mm-hmm. I love your blog. And Lauren does travel specials, and I will not buy something unless she has reviewed it for travel, because I do a lot of business travel. So she is my queen of travel accessories, that's for sure. So tell me about where you get your ideas for your blog topics and where you store those ideas.
Okay. Oftentimes I come up with blog posts when I'm working with a client and think, as I'm explaining something, oh, that would be a really great blog post. Other times I find myself realizing it's a good blog post when I've brought that topic up several times. Like my family tidy time. I have brought that up to several clients, and I'm like, that would just make a really good blog post. I should type that up. So if possible, if it doesn't seem like it's going to offend the client, I'll pull my phone out and I will add to my digital list, which is in Evernote.
Oh, great.
So I'm a big fan and user of Evernote. I'm actually an Evernote certified consultant. And I love Evernote because I can access it on my mobile phone, I can access it on a laptop, but I can also access it on the web if for some reason I'm without my phone or laptop and I really needed to add something. Also, when I'm traveling, I can use it on the plane and add to it, and it will sync later. So there's a long list of blog post titles or ideas, and then I've got several notes open within my notebook of blogs, and they may be in various stages of rough draft, bullet points, needing to edit, ready to publish.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you're probably never out of blog post ideas.
No.
Do you have way too many right now?
No, but what I've realized too is that there's so many different things you can blog on. I was always trying to come up with like the most creative blog ideas, and then it's like, here's how you organize your wallet. And that's a great
I'd like that one.
Great blog.
Yes.
I have a video on that actually.
That's fantastic.
Check out my YouTube. Let me organize it. So yeah, and then also I'm using Evernote too in addition to my blogs, and one of the reasons I love writing my blog is because it keeps my writing up to date, and it gets that exercise going in that muscle. And I'm actually doing a kids book series on organizing.
Oh, great.
So I also store those books in Evernote.
I would like to pre-order all of those, please.
Well, what I've noticed though, since we're being, honest here, what I've noticed is that Evernote does not do a very good job with the coding.
Yes.
So we've had this discussion before where I've taken the blog content and then put it into WordPress, and it does really nasty things. So
yes.
I'm going to maybe look into something else, but I still love Evernote for a lot of different reasons. It's kind of like my Post-it note board.
I love that. Whereas surprisingly, I do online marketing, and all of my notes are literally on Post-its shoved in my desk drawer.
Maybe you are a piler.
I might be. I don't know.
Do we open this drawer? I don't know.
No, we don't want to open the desk drawer. No. Little flies will come out. Yes. Well, thank you so much. If anyone has questions for Lauren or myself, digital organizing is incredibly difficult for me personally, and I know working with Lauren has been tremendously helpful for our entire staff. Our Dropbox looks much, much nicer thanks to her. So Lauren, if people want to learn more about professional organizers or how to get in touch?
Yeah, you can always reach me through my contact on my website, which is letmeorganizeit.com. Email is my preferred method of communication. And then if you're interested in learning more about organizing, I would highly recommend visiting NAPO.net. So again, the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals. We are about 3,500 members worldwide. What's interesting about the industry is that it's not exactly a regulated industry, but NAPO is working really hard to make sure that the people coming into your home and helping you with organizing have the education and background that's needed to make sure that you're successful. So in order to become a professional member of NAPO, you have to go through a number of courses. You have access to an organizers forum, which I'm actually about to become the chairperson of, where we can share ideas and help each other out. And we are also, NAPO is the only organization in the world that certifies professional organizers. So you can get a certified professional organizer status. There are about 360 of those worldwide. Wow. So you're really going to be taken care of by a NAPO member, NAPO organizer. So if you go to napo.net, there is a tab or a button where you can find an organizer in your area based on specialty and also in your location. If you have any other questions about professional organizing, if you need one, if you want to become one, please contact me. I love sharing information.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Of course.
A special edition of Tech Tip Tuesday. We will see you next week.
Thank you so much.
Bye.